Ladies, you want to be the woman he can't replace? Then stop acting like every other woman he's already had. Because let me tell you something. A man can find beauty on every block. He can find a woman who can cook, clean, smile, look good on his arm. But that don't mean he'll stay. What makes a man stay, what makes him look at you and say, she's the one, that's deeper. That's about soul. That's about value. That's about how you carry yourself and what you bring that nobody else can duplicate. A man may meet dozens of women in his life, some beautiful, some smart, some funny, but what truly gets his attention, and more importantly, what makes him stay, is the woman he simply can't replace. That woman is rare. She doesn't just exist for him. She exists for herself first. She's grounded, purposeful, and she walks in a room like she owns it, not because she's arrogant, but because she knows exactly who she is. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't compete with other women. And she surely doesn't try to mold herself into the kind of woman a man says he wants. She is who she is. And that's why he can't let her go. Men chase beauty, but they commit to peace. A man will flirt with what entertains him, but he builds a future with what stabilizes him. If you're bringing anxiety, jealousy, constant questioning, or neediness into a man's life, you're just another chapter. But if you're the woman who walks with peace in her heart, who can be his sanctuary after a long day, who can listen without judgment and speak with love, now that's a woman he can't find anywhere else. Peace is not passivity, it's power. It means you're in control of your emotions. You've mastered the art of responding instead of reacting. And you understand that sometimes silence is stronger than shouting. The woman who can't be replaced doesn't measure her worth by a man's validation. Her value isn't tied to how fast he texts back or how often he compliments her. Her self-esteem is rooted deep, and she lives with purpose outside of any relationship. She's not scared to walk away from a man who doesn't treat her right. She's not afraid to be alone if it means protecting her peace. And ironically, it's that very energy that makes her unforgettable. Because men sense when a woman is whole all by herself. It intimidates some, inspires others, but it never goes unnoticed. She doesn't need him, but she's willing to choose him. That choice, coming from a place of wholeness, is far more powerful than any dependency. Being irreplaceable doesn't mean being perfect. It means being authentic. A man can scroll through 1,000 flawless faces on social media, but when he meets a woman who shows up raw, honest, and unapologetically herself, she hits different. She laughs with her whole heart. She speaks her truth, even if her voice shakes. She doesn't try to shrink herself to be more likable. That kind of honesty is magnetic. She stands in her flaws, owns her past, and embraces her journey. She's not pretending to be what a man wants. She's just being. And that energy is rare. The irreplaceable woman also has standards, not ultimatums. She doesn't have to scream boundaries because she lives them quietly every day. A man knows what she'll tolerate and what she won't without her having to spell it out. Her standards aren't designed to control him. They're rooted in how she values herself. She doesn't chase, she aligns. If he's not giving what she knows she deserves, she'll calmly exit without a scene because she knows she's not just a good woman. She's the right woman for the right man. She's not out here trying to be picked. She's not desperate for love. She's building a life so full and rich that if love shows up, it's an addition, not a lifeline. When she's with a man, she adds value, not by buying things or performing, but by being a force in his life that challenges him to grow. She encourages his dreams without losing sight of her own. She doesn't settle into a relationship and stop evolving. She keeps rising. She keeps learning. She keeps glowing. And that glow doesn't come from him. It comes from within. A man sees that and realizes this isn't the kind of woman he can take for granted. He knows that if he doesn't show up right, somebody else eventually will. She's not holding on to him out of fear. She's staying as long as she's respected. That's what makes her different. She doesn't move with desperation. She moves with dignity. She doesn't try to prove why she's worthy. She already knows she is. She doesn't fear being alone because she enjoys her own company. She isn't scared of letting go because she trusts what's meant for her will never require her to beg. Her love is deep, nurturing, and loyal, but only when it's reciprocated. She doesn't stay in places where she's misunderstood or mistreated. She doesn't believe in struggling for love. Love should elevate. Love should make her softer, not harder. And if it doesn't, she knows she's got the strength to walk away. A woman a man can't replace leaves a lasting impression, not because she was the loudest or the most dramatic, but because she was rare, she was solid, she was consistent. She made him feel like a king without losing her crown. She brought love, laughter, growth, and light into his life. And even if it didn't work out, she walked away with grace. That kind of woman is unforgettable, because in a world full of people trying to fit in, she dared to stand out. And standing out isn't about what you wear or how you look. It's how you carry yourself when no one's watching. It's how you speak about yourself when no one's listening. It's how you protect your energy, honor your worth, and stay true to your standards. Men notice that. They may not say it immediately, but deep down, they know they can't find that everywhere. When a woman holds herself like that, when she's emotionally intelligent, spiritually grounded, and mentally strong, she becomes the kind of woman who's not just wanted, but needed. And when a man meets that kind of woman, he knows the truth. He'll never be able to replace her. A woman who is irreplaceable is not the loudest in the room, not the one trying the hardest to be noticed, and not the one constantly proving her worth. She just is. She carries an aura that can't be mimicked, a presence that stays with a man long after she walks away. She's different because she knows that real power isn't in chasing love, it's in being love. She understands that her value isn't based on who chooses her, but on how deeply she chooses herself every day. That's the kind of woman a man thinks about when he's quiet, when he's growing, when he's trying to figure out why he can't forget her no matter who comes along. Men know the difference between a good time and a good woman. A good time might distract him for a while. It might keep him laughing, entertained, maybe even sexually satisfied. But a good woman, she nourishes his soul. She sees him in ways others don't. She believes in him when he doesn't believe in himself. But more importantly, she believes in herself first. That self-belief makes her magnetic. It makes her standards firm and her energy unshakable. She's not here to beg, she's not here to settle, and she's not here to play games. That's what makes her unforgivable. A woman who can't be replaced isn't perfect, but she's whole. She's not trying to be completed by a man because she already knows who she is. She's done the work to heal, to grow, and to love herself deeply. She doesn't show up to a relationship hoping a man will fix her or fill a void. She shows up already full, and anything she gives comes from overflow. That's what makes her powerful. That's what makes her rare. A man feels it in the way she talks, the way she moves, the way she protects her peace. She's not afraid to walk away from someone who doesn't honor her. She doesn't fear starting over. She fears staying in places that shrink her. Her strength isn't loud, but it's felt. When she speaks with clarity, not confusion. She's not playing guessing games. She knows what she wants, what she deserves, and she's not afraid to say no to what doesn't align with that. She doesn't get caught up in unnecessary drama. She doesn't chase validation. She's calm in a world that's constantly loud. That calmness is powerful because men are drawn to peace, not perfection. Peace, the kind of peace that makes him feel safe, seen, and understood. That's what keeps him coming back. That's what makes her the exception, not the rule. Being irreplaceable means she doesn't blend in. She stands out, not because she's trying to, but because she refuses to shrink. She's not afraid to show her light. She's not afraid to love deeply, but she's also not afraid to walk away if that love is not matched. She's loyal, but she's not foolish. She gives, but she watches how she's being poured into. She knows relationships are about mutual respect, effort, and energy. She doesn't entertain one-sided situations. If she feels she's the only one showing up, she'll bow out gracefully. Not with anger, but with self-respect. That's what separates her. She doesn't just listen, she hears. She doesn't just speak, she communicates. She's emotionally intelligent. She can feel when something's off without needing 1,000 explanations. She's the kind of woman who challenges a man to level up just by being herself. She inspires growth without even trying, not because she lectures or pressures, but because her life speaks volumes. Her discipline, her vision, her inner peace, it all pushes a man to be better. She's not a woman who tolerates mediocrity, so if he's in her space, he knows he has to rise. But don't mistake her softness for weakness. Just because she chooses peace doesn't mean she can't go to war for her dignity. She's not the one you lie to and expect to keep. She's not the one you disrespect and still get access to. Once she sees you no longer value her, she detaches. Not bitterly, but fully. She knows when to love hard and when to love herself harder. And once she's gone, her absence is loud. A man will realize too late that the way she loved, supported, and brought peace into his life was rare. He'll search for it in others but find it lacking because what she gave wasn't surface level, it was soul deep. She's not in a rush to settle. She knows her timing is divine. She trusts the process. While others are chasing titles and attention, she's chasing alignment. She wants a partner, not just a boyfriend. She wants growth, not just comfort. She wants consistency, not just chemistry. And until she finds that, she's okay standing alone. That's the scariest kind of woman for a man who isn't ready. But for the one who is, she's everything. She doesn't hold grudges, but she holds lessons. She forgives, but she doesn't forget what it taught her. She loves hard, but she doesn't lose herself in love. Her boundaries are not walls, they are gates, open to those who respect them and closed to those who don't. She's nurturing yet firm, compassionate yet clear, gentle yet powerful. She balances her feminine energy with a strong sense of identity. She knows that being irreplaceable isn't about being everything to everyone. It's about being everything to yourself first so you can show up whole in love. And when she loves a man, it's not transactional. It's not performative. It's not based on what he can give her, but on what they can build together. Her love is a place of healing, of rest, of fire, of laughter. But she only gives that to someone who earns it. Her presence is a gift, not a guarantee. Her time is precious. Her energy is sacred. And that's why she's the kind of woman a man never forgets. He may try to move on, find someone new, maybe even get distracted by the next pretty face. But deep down, he knows he'll never find her twice. There's something about a woman who knows her worth that makes her unforgettable. She walks differently, talks differently, carries herself with a confidence that doesn't shout, it simply is. She doesn't need to be validated by anyone, especially not a man, because she already validates herself every single day. That woman is the one who can't be replaced. She's not just in his life for a season or a moment. She leaves an imprint on his soul because her presence brings something deeper than surface level attraction. She's the kind of woman a man remembers even when he's lying next to someone else. Because you can't replace energy that heals, inspires, and uplifts. A woman like that doesn't try to impress. She simply lives. She doesn't dress for male attention. She dresses in what makes her feel powerful. She's not afraid of silence because she's found peace in her own company. She knows how to be alone without being lonely, and that's a strength many don't understand. She doesn't chase love. She doesn't beg for affection. She doesn't compete. Instead, she focuses on becoming more of who she already is. She doesn't let a man disturb her peace. Her heart. If he comes with confusion, she chooses clarity. That growth, that evolution, drama, she chooses distance. And when a man sees that, he knows she's not someone he can play with. She doesn't go back and forth to prove a point. She lets her absence speak for her when words aren't enough. She's emotionally mature, self-aware, and grounded. That kind of emotional intelligence is rare, and it's what separates her from the rest. Because while many women are taught to make a man the center of their world, she's already the center of her own. Her love is not for the faint of heart. It's not casual. It's not shallow. It's deep, devoted, and powerful. But it's also conditional on how she's treated. She doesn't love blindly. She pays attention to effort, to consistency, to respect. She may forgive, but she never forgets the lessons. She'll give second chances, but not unlimited ones. And the moment she feels like she's giving more than she's receiving, she starts pulling back. Not because she's petty, but because she values balance. She understands that love shouldn't feel like sacrifice every time. When a man is with her, he feels the difference. She listens when he speaks, not just to respond, but to understand. She asks about his dreams, not just his past. She pushes him to be better, not by demanding, but by example. She shows up in ways that feel unfamiliar to him, because she doesn't love based on fear. She loves from fullness. But the moment she senses he's taking her for granted, she doesn't stick around hoping he'll change. She walks, and that's what haunts him. Not just that she left, but that she didn't look back. She doesn't try to be liked. She's okay not being everyone's favorite. She's not here to make people comfortable. She's here to be herself. Her honesty might offend, her confidence might intimidate, her independence might confuse, but she doesn't dim her light for anyone. The right people will love her exactly as she is, and the wrong ones will walk away, and she's fine with that. She's not afraid to lose people who don't see her value. What she's afraid of is losing herself trying to please everyone else. And while she has a soft heart, she has strong boundaries. She's the woman who can nurture you, encourage you, and uplift you, but only if you're worthy of it. She protects her energy because she knows how draining it is to give to the wrong people. She doesn't have time to fix broken men who refuse to heal. She's done with being the one who carries all the weight in relationships. She wants a partner, not a project. And if a man doesn't come correct, she'd rather be by herself than be with someone who makes her feel alone. She believes in loyalty, but not to pain. She'll ride for you, support you, and love you in ways you've never experienced, but only if you're doing the same. The moment it becomes one-sided, she's out. Not because she doesn't care, but because she's learned that her care has to be earned, not assumed. She's not building with someone who can't even show up consistently. She's not holding space for someone who disappears when it's inconvenient. Her love is a privilege, not a right. And that's why she's unforgettable. Because she wasn't just pretty. She wasn't just good in bed. She wasn't just fun. She was powerful. She held herself to a standard. She knew what she brought to the table. And she wasn't afraid to eat alone. A man who loses a woman like that might not realize what he had until he can't get it back. Because once she's gone, she's gone. And once she's done, she's done. She gave him a chance to step up, to match her, to build something real. And if he didn't, she left without bitterness, just a quiet understanding that she deserved more. And she'll get it. Because women like that never stay lost for long. A woman who can't be replaced doesn't chase approval, attention, or affection. She doesn't rely on a man to feel complete because she has already done the work to build herself from the inside out. Her energy is different. Her confidence doesn't scream. It whispers in her posture, her peace, her silence, and her boundaries. She's not available to just anyone. She doesn't give her time or heart freely. She knows that what she offers is valuable, and she treats it that way. A man may not notice her immediately in a crowded room, but once he gets close enough to feel her presence, he knows instantly this is not someone he'll forget. She's not trying to be liked by everyone. She's not pretending. She's not shrinking. She is her full self at all times. She doesn't adjust her truth to make others comfortable. Her authenticity is what sets her apart. When she speaks, she means it. When she loves, she commits fully. But she also watches carefully. She gives with intention, but she doesn't overextend herself for people who are inconsistent or careless. She knows that energy is currency, and she protects hers like it's sacred, because it is. She understands the weight of emotional investment, and she doesn't gamble it on the wrong people. When she's in a relationship, she doesn't play games. She's not interested in manipulating a man to stay. She knows that if he truly values her, he'll show it without needing to be pushed or tricked into consistency. She's not afraid to communicate her needs, but she won't repeat herself endlessly. She's not here to beg for the basics. If she has to explain why respect, effort, and loyalty are necessary, then she's already outgrowing that situation. A man who can't meet her emotionally doesn't get access to her physically. She doesn't separate love and respect. They come together or not at all. She brings peace, not chaos. She knows that love isn't supposed to be exhausting or confusing. When a man is with her, he feels safe. Not because she tolerates disrespect, but because her presence feels like home. She doesn't try to dominate or control him. She supports without enabling, guides without forcing, and listens without judging. Her strength is soft, but it's firm. She won't raise her voice often, but when she sets a boundary, it stays in place. And that calm strength is what stays with the man long after she's gone. Because there's a difference between a woman who needs to be loved and a woman who chooses to love. She chooses freely and powerfully. She's not afraid of being alone. She's selective. She knows the wrong relationship will cost her more than loneliness ever could. That's why she doesn't entertain men who are unsure. She doesn't invest in potential. She looks at patterns, not promises. If a man's actions don't align with his words, she pulls back, not because she's bitter, but because she has standards. She doesn't want temporary excitement. She wants lasting alignment. And if she has to wait for it, she will. Because she's not desperate for love. She's waiting for the kind of connection that adds to her life, not drains it. Her value doesn't fluctuate with someone else's inability to see it. She's grounded in who she is. Whether single, dating, or committed, she remains consistent. She continues to grow, evolve, and build her life. She doesn't pause her dreams waiting for someone to come around. She doesn't dim her light hoping it will make others more comfortable. She leads herself. She moves with purpose. She loves deeply, but she knows how to redirect that love when it's not being appreciated. That's what makes her so rare. She's not staying out of fear. She's choosing out of strength. And that makes her unforgettable. She knows what it feels like to pour into the wrong people. She knows the pain of giving too much to those who gave too little. That's why she doesn't go down that road anymore. She's learned. She's healed. She's risen. And now she only entertains what feels like mutual growth. She wants a relationship where both people water each other, where both people show up fully, where both people bring peace and power. And if that's not available, she's not interested. Because if she's not building with someone who can't carry their part of the weight. She challenges a man in all the right ways, not by attacking or demanding, but by existing as a mirror. When a man is around her, he sees where he needs to grow. He feels motivated to be better, not because she's forcing him, but because her presence naturally calls him higher. She doesn't accept excuses, but she does offer grace. She doesn't nag, she encourages, but she also doesn't wait forever. If a man can't rise with her, she'll rise without him. And he'll feel that loss deeply, because replacing a woman like that isn't possible. She's not just a lover, she's a partner. She's not just someone to impress, she's someone to build with. She's not just beautiful, she's wise. She's the kind of woman who can pray with you, laugh with you, and strategize with you. She's the kind of woman you don't just want in your bed, but in your corner. And when a man experiences that kind of depth, he knows he's found something rare. She's the woman he won't stop thinking about, the one who raised his standards, the one who made him realize what real love looks and feels like. And if he loses her, he won't be able to replace her, because women like her are once in a lifetime.